Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives? Hello and welcome to another episode of So Are the Days of Our Lives? I am your host, Olivia Willis, and today I am joined by one of the funniest people I have the honor of knowing and having as a friend. The one and only Madeleine Rowe. Madeleine, welcome to the pod.
It's an honor to be here living the days of our lives. And so the sands of time, and so the sands of time.
Yes, yes, yes. This is a big get. We have been tiptoeing around getting you on the podcast for months.
Yes.
And it's finally happening. I'm so, so happy.
And I also, I did not know what I was in for, and now I still don't. Yeah.
And you're like, and now I'm potentially farther away from it. Wow. Yeah. We also had a hilarious hiccup, just a peek behind the curtain for the listeners. We had a very funny hiccup where I'm actually now saying it live on mic as a moment of accountability for myself. I am going to make the jump and just skip a bunch of episodes and start watching season 60. I have been stuck in season 59 for so long. I'm officially now like a year behind the currently airing episodes. And so it happened again where I sent Madeleine an episode to watch and we had a whole recap ready. And they were like, the episode has today been deleted from Peacock. Like, we are one day late. So no more of these too late episodes. No more of these, this episode aired a year ago. We're gonna get caught up. But so Madeleine is with us for what will probably be the last episode of season 59 that I recap. And boy, was it a rich one.
It really was. Well, first of all, I do want to say, okay, they release an episode every day pretty much.
5 new episodes a week.
Insane. Crazy. I was looking through and I was like,
you're like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Just like, how does this happen like this?
It consumes one's life.
Yeah.
To enjoy this series.
This is the day my life has changed.
Madeleine's like, I have been changed.
Oh,
good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this transitions into our first getting to know Madeleine question of the episode. Madeleine Rowe, what, if any, relationship do you have to Days of Our Lives or soap operas in general?
Zero. None. I have never watched a soap opera before in my life. I have never watched Days of Our Lives before in my life. I feel like I've like seen, like just like a scene or so as I'm walking into a room and then I leave the room.
Sure.
Like not because of the soap opera, just because I have other things to be doing. But so this is the first time I've ever sat down and actually watched
incredible. Something like this.
Yes. And it is crazy.
Okay. Our second question is, what is your go-to comfort television? It could be a show, it could be like a genre, but like when you're just like, I gotta unwind.
I mean, I love like Buffy the Vampire Slayer was probably my like, it's been my go-to go back and rewatch. It is quite delicious for me, and like Charmed. Like I loved those like 90s, fantasy sci-fi type of things. And then like to unwind, like for I love a little HBO. Like what's new on HBO? Yeah, that's what I tend to do. But I'm a big rewatcher. Rewatcher. So
me
like
too.
Once I find something I really like, I will rewatch it. I've watched Lost a couple times.
Lost?
Yeah, you ever seen it?
No. I know. It's one of those things where I'm like, I'll watch it I feel confident that I'll watch it someday.
Yes. Yeah. It's a wild ride.
Yeah.
It's a wild ride.
Yeah.
Not as wild as this though.
Lost doesn't hold a candle to Days of Our Lives.
It certainly doesn't. I have notes. I have notes here, and I have in all caps at the end of my first page of notes, I wrote overwhelmed at 14 minutes. We were 14 minutes into that. I said, surely we must be close to the end at this point. In fact, we were 14 minutes in.
We're not even at the halfway mark.
No.
We're just a quarter in.
like, how can so much have happened in 14 minutes?
Our final intro question
Yes,
is, what
yes.
surprised you most about the episode you watched? I mean, can you sum it up into
I
one
think,
most?
I do have to say the acting.
Yep.
Yeah, I sent you a video of,
Yeah.
I feel like it was 10 seconds of someone just reacting. Like
Yes.
I think the format and the pace, like they
Yes.
really do, like for me being overwhelmed at 14 minutes, the pace at which the dialogue happens is slower than any I've known.
It is
Like
truly, there is a 25-second tail at the end of every scene.
it is crazy.
And here's
Oh,
my favorite thing. We will get to that moment with icon John Black just acting his ass off in the town
yes.
square. But it's like, so I came to Days of Our Lives doing audio description, which is
Yeah.
like we use the empty space between
Yeah.
dialogue to
Oh my
describe.
God. So what would you say?
But like literally, usually those long tails, it's truly
Yeah.
15 seconds of silence, and it's someone just not moving, showing absolutely no expression, but just staring, like holding. And so it would be a lot of like Alex gazes off into the distance with an inscrutable expression.
Inscrutable expression.
But
Wow.
John in that scene was giving beats. He was giving emotion. I would literally, that would have been a rich expression. I should post the video that you texted me to the
Yes.
Instagram because,
Yeah.
like, he goes on a face journey.
His head is in his hands. He's looking up to his God, like he's in turmoil.
And that, yeah, it shows a real range of
Yeah,
emotion.
yeah,
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 it's very special. It's very special. So the episodes famously don't have titles. They are just
yeah,
literally labeled by the season, episode, and the date that they aired. So what
yeah,
I like to try to do is like we'll go through the recap, and if any phrases, images, titles come to us that we're like, this could encapsulate this episode,
yeah,
we're going to title the
yeah,
episode ourselves
yeah,
at the end.
yeah. I mean, just starting at the beginning of the episode, the first three scenes that we see
Uh-huh.
from different couples, all of them are like, "Where are you? Where have you been?"
Yes. Yes, that's so true.
So I am feeling like it could be something like, "Where are you?"
Where are you?
But let's see. I have a feeling that that could change, but
I
I
love that.
felt
We'll see. Are we ready to dive in?
we certainly are. Yes.
Okay, okay. This is Days of Our Lives, season 59, episode 111. And I also just want to point out it's probably the midway point of season 59. They do over 200 episodes a season. Yeah.
Who has been on the show the longest? Like who? Yeah.
There is a woman, and I am not going to remember her name, so I will have to look. Susan Hayward. I actually am going to remember her name. Wow, that is sick. She was not in this episode, but she has been on Days of Our Lives since season 2. And season 2 would have been like 1966, by the way.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's been happening for that long?
It's been happening for that long.
Jesus Christ.
In this episode, like, I mean, it tracks like the folks who are older, most of them have been on the show like since at least the 70s, maybe 80s.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Wow.
crazy. And they've had like time away. And so everybody's always like, I'm leaving Salem for
Yeah.
an undetermined amount of time. And then they come back a couple years later.
Yep.
Because it's like, "Ah, I needed a break. I had to get off the hamster wheel."
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing that's what happened with that one, the where they're sitting on the, I don't know anyone's names,
Good.
unfortunately.
Good.
Everett is his name.
Yes.
Where she's like, I thought you ghosted me, but you were actually in an accident for a long time, I guess. And I kept going, oh yeah, I bet this actor just said,
Needed a break.
walk out. I gotta go on vacation.
Oh my God, I can't wait. Let's dive in.
Yeah, please, please. I feel like I keep starting to dive in, and then it's like
And you're like, but wait, we have to do
I know.
more.
I just have a lot to say. Okay, go.
We're doing it. We're gonna get to
And
it.
go.
We're gonna get to it. And you're on. Okay.
Yes.
And you're live. Okay. This episode begins with Dr. Marlena Evans, who is probably my favorite character in the show. I just think she's a classy woman of a certain age. She's the town psychiatrist. I just love her. She's been possessed by the devil twice.
Oh,
Yep.
oh,
Yep.
iconic.
Yeah, I know. She's
I
kind of
wish we could only wish.
Marlena comes home to her dark, like condo or wherever the hell they live. She's calling for her husband, John, but no one's home. So she pulls her phone out of her perfectly positioned crossbody bag, which I do feel like was appropriate for a woman of her age.
Yes, I do. Yes.
And she takes out her phone, and the way she dials is so
Vigorous. Vigorous. That's the only way I can say it. It's like you're mad at
ASMR.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tap, tap, tap.
She didn't have his number saved. It's her husband. She did not have that number saved. She dialed number
from memory.
Yeah.
So she dials. John picks up, her husband. He is haggard and wandering through the town square. And he's just like, oh, hello. Like he already has a very raspy voice, but he's playing haggard. So it really is a mess. She's like, where are you? I just got home from work. And he tells her he couldn't sleep, so he went for a walk, but he lost track of time. And this is the first of many moments in this episode where I'm super confused as to what the hell time it is. Because he's in the town square. There's extras like window shopping, the stores in the square around him. And Marlena's just getting home from work, which tells me even if she worked late, it's maybe like 7, 8.
Yeah.
But he's saying he couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
So he went for a walk.
I'm gonna guess it's about 7, but they're a little older, and so, maybe like 6 p.m. It gets to 6 p.m.
He
and
said,
he goes,
it's time for bed.
time for bed, but he couldn't do it.
So he was tormented in his thoughts. So he went to the square.
That's what I do.
I immediately beeline for the town square when
I jump up out of bed and I get on my clothes and I very fast onto the town square and wait for those nightmarish visions to subside. Yeah.
John tells Marlena he'll be home soon, but she's clearly still worried after she hangs up, and she gazes off uneasily. And then she takes out her phone again and taps her phone way too many times for it to be a phone number, but too few times for it to be a text.
Yes.
And then she stops and just furrows her brow. And I'm like, what are we doing? Someone has got to get this incredible woman a technology choreographer.
Yeah. Or just, like just a way to say like, hey, call this person, voice to.
Oh, that would be smart. That would be smart.
This woman needs Siri.
So we're going to leave John and Marlena. We're going to jump to the worst couple of all time, Alex and Theresa. Theresa, blonde wig.
Oh my God. I have a lot of things to say about this.
So they are a newish couple in Salem, and they're both just like terrible people.
Can I ask really quick, where are either of them from? Like, where are those accents coming?
Funny story. Theresa, the woman, is played by this actress who is British. And she was previously playing a British character, like she was using her own dialect.
Oh.
And that character, there was a scene where that character, her name was Gwen, she was at the airport and she was like, goodbye, Salem, I'll miss you. And she walks through like to board a plane. And then the scene cuts and she re-enters in that blonde wig. And she's like, hi, everyone, I'm Theresa. And she's like,
no.
Literally.
So it's her in disguise?
So no. They're genuinely two different people, but they're by the same actress, and she's doing her damnedest at an American accent.
Oh my God.
And it's really interesting. And then he's, I think, just got like LA mushmouth.
Yeah, it really sounds that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very special. I'm glad you picked up on that. So Alex and Theresa, new couple, they are
Yep.
living together in Alex's apartment because Theresa needed a place to live.
Okay, but they've never kissed before.
They have actually a lot. And so I don't know why they were making such a big deal out of it.
Okay, all right.
They've
Yeah.
hooked up, they've had sex a lot, like it's their
Oh,
thing.
that was so not clear. I really thought that they had been dating and then it was like one
This
of
is
these.
our first kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Okay.
did make it seem that
Interesting.
way.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is like Alex's bachelor pad, which is why there's like a rack of weights and like sports
Oh,
imagery
yeah.
on the
The
wall.
picture of a football and
Yep,
a helmet. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so we're at their apartment. They're in the middle of like a weird debate about why it took Alex so long to get home.
Where were you?
Where were you? This is the theme. Well, in the previous episode, they had like run into each other at the hospital
Mm,
and they weren't expecting to see each other there. And so they
yeah.
were just like, I'll see you at home. And I guess Theresa beat him home and now he's got to answer for his tardiness. Then we abandon that conversation and they just go into like, why were you at the hospital? And Alex explains that he was seeing his therapist, Marlena. And he's like,
God.
she's just really great. She really accommodates my schedule and like she can see me at all hours. And I'm like, that's terrible. She needs to set some boundaries. And truly, people just show up to her office and are like, can I do therapy right now? And I'm like, this is not how this works.
And her therapy office is at the hospital?
It is.
Interesting,
It
interesting,
is.
interesting. Good.
And that's to indicate that they take therapy seriously as a medical
I
service.
wish the real world was like Salem. I wish mental health were taken just as seriously as it was in this show.
So, yeah, he's just like, I did my late night impromptu therapy session. And Teresa's like, oh, yeah, I was kind of doing therapy too. I went to the hospital to talk to my Aunt Kayla, but it was free. And I'm like, weird. Okay. Like, they always do this thing where it's like a really loaded conversation about like an absolutely mundane subject.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they're like, what were you talking about? And then they have like a standoff. And I'm like, super inappropriate to ask someone what they talked about in therapy.
I know.
That's going to be the end of that scene. Quick, we're going to go to the Salem Inn, the hotel where Everett is staying. And Stephanie Johnson
Huh?
is sitting with Everett in his hotel room. And she's like, I'm here because you told me you had a confession to make. And I'm like, what an incredible way to start a scene. And she's like, is it going to be about how you didn't show up to the pub when you were supposed to join me and my friends? Again, just rich, top of
I
scene.
I will also say I do feel that she out of everyone is like the best actor.
I
Like
totally agreed.
I was watching her and I said, "You are actually doing okay for what you've been given."
You are making this work.
I'm believing. I'm
Yes.
believing. I'm a
Yes.
believer.
Yes. Okay, so Everett, he explains that he did go to the pub, but he left after he saw them and realized that he needed to speak to her privately. So here's the situation with these two. Funnily enough, Everett, you know how you said you assumed he was like on the show for a long time and then took a break? Never been on the show before. New
Oh.
character.
Oh. Oh.
Well, that's actually not true. That actor has been on the show, but this is a new character. They do that a lot, actually. Yes. I'm like, in this economy, give a new actor a job.
I know.
Anyway.
What?
Cast little old me.
I know. Let's literally get you on this show.
This is my dream.
Yes.
So Stephanie is like Stephanie is the daughter of the guy with the eye patch.
Oh
Yes.
my God.
So
Okay.
like she's been on her lore is like she's Kayla and Steve's daughter. Like she's been on the show for a really long time, but she was like living in Seattle. So all of
Okay.
this happened not on the show. This is important to note.
Oh my God.
Stephanie and Everett were dating. It was really serious. One day he ghosted her. She like couldn't get him to answer any of her calls, and she thought he just ghosted her and she was devastated. It like totally ruined her life and it made her move back to Salem because she was like, my life is in shambles. I need to get myself together, and has been there for probably like a year.
Okay.
Everett comes out of nowhere and he's like, I didn't ghost you. I got in a bike accident and I was in a coma. And when I woke up, I had amnesia. And then it took me months to
Oh,
remember you
oh,
and that I
actually,
loved you and I was going to propose to you. So I have now moved to Salem and gotten a job in Salem to try to win you back, even though you've spent a year like getting over me and moving on.
oh my God.
The other thing about Everett that is spicy
Yeah. Okay.
is that there's this other character, Jada, who was not in this episode, but she is friends with Stephanie,
Yeah.
and she is one of the aforementioned friends Everett was supposed to meet at the pub.
Yes.
In a previous episode, Stephanie and Jada were hanging out,
Yeah.
and Jada mentioned her ex-husband, who no
Yeah.
one has ever met. And she was like, it was a really bad relationship. And then Stephanie leaves, and Jada pulls up a picture of him on his phone, on her phone. It's Everett. But she knew him by a different name. So when
So
Stephanie
Stephanie knows that.
does not know, no one knows. So like when Everett came to the pub and saw Stephanie and Jada hanging out,
My God, yeah.
he was like, I cannot go in there because that's my ex-wife.
Because it wasn't because he had to tell her something,
That's
in
correct.
private.
It
It
was
was
because he
oh
had to, yeah, yeah. It's because he's a lying liar who lies.
yeah, he's got a dirty little secret.
That's exactly right.
Crazy.
Yeah, so he came to Salem to like win Stephanie back, and she's very much like, I think we should just be friends. And
Yeah.
he's clearly not okay with that, as we will see throughout the duration of this episode.
And this is what, minute 4 of the
This is the
episode?
third scene of the episode.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. We move at a snail's pace here.
Yeah, here in Salem, we do things different.
We go again, it's nighttime, it's after hours. So this is also my thing. Timeline. We're
Yeah.
about to go to the pub, the Brady pub, the famous Brady pub.
Even I know Brady Pub.
Absolutely, obviously. Anyone who's anyone knows it.
Yes, yes, yes.
So Kate and Roman walk up to the pub. Kate and Roman run the pub.
Oh, yes.
The
Okay.
pub is closed.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what
Is it
time is it
Monday?
that the pub
But
would be closed?
yeah, it's seemingly like midnight, but
Yeah,
also 7:30 p.m. And
exactly.
also like somewhere about 10. Yeah.
And I would say that time works non-linearly in the episode.
Yeah, they really play with time in a way that I wasn't
do.
expecting.
They do.
I believe it's intentional, and I believe it is successful.
Okay, so yes, Kate and Roman walk up to the pub, and they, again, incredible top of scene. Kate's like, how the hell does a prison lose a prisoner?
Oh,
So good.
she's great, by the way.
Obsessed with her.
Love her nails, her rings, her
Fancy lady.
yeah,
She's jangling throughout
yeah,
this entire episode.
she certainly is. And what's that guy's name? Roman?
Roman.
Yeah, he's giving I'm a little drunk, but also I really mean I'm really here,
He's like, I've been on this show for 40 years, probably.
It's clear. I loved him.
Yeah,
I
yeah. Yeah, so they're first of all, they're complaining about how does a prison lose a prisoner, and we have to believe they're talking about Kate's son Lucas, who is in prison, which you would not have known just from this episode. So Roman's like, let's just go inside, make some coffee, get our wits about us. And they see someone walking through the restaurant. We have a break-in, and the fucking drums,
Yes.
the underscoring.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Incredible.
Incredible underscoring. But what I also love is the reaction to seeing someone
Yes.
in their establishment.
Yes.
Someone has broken in to your livelihood. And what do? They kind of just stand there.
They go,
And they're,
oh, oh,
oh,
oh. And then we get da-da-da-da-da, like sands through the hourglass.
yes. Yeah.
So are the days of
Days of our lives.
Finally just now gotten the opening title.
Yeah. Yep.
But what we do is we go right back to the pub, which is actually irregular for the show's structure. Usually it would have taken like 20 minutes to get back to this scene.
Yeah.
But clearly they're like, we got to get back to the break-in. So Roman's like, I'm going to sneak in the back and surprise him. And Kate's like, no, we should just call the police. You are 82 years old. Like, you should not confront a robber. And suddenly the leather-clad figure in shadows turns on the lights.
Turns on the light, which I thought was interesting.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
for
Mhm.
a surprise, for a
Yes.
sneak attack. And Kate sees it's Harris Michaels, who is a detective.
Detective, I later learned. Yes, he's a detective.
I can imagine from your perspective, just watching it, you were like, this is someone who time traveled out of the movie Grease.
Yes. It's crazy.
So Kate and Roman go inside and they're like, what the hell are you doing here? And Kate's like, Lucas is missing. You've got to find him. And she dramatically pulls off her fur coat, but that is where the scene ends.
I love that Harris doesn't say a damn word. He just kind of holds out his hand like, I know what you're gonna say. Like, wait a moment. But he doesn't say anything.
Those are the moments where it's like the actor has had to justify that, like, they're there, but they don't have any lines. So they're going to do like a gesture.
That was really juicy for me.
So now we're going to go back to Theresa and Alex. And this is when
Yes.
Theresa is like, you know what? I actually don't want to do like any of the big feelings talk. I just want to do something mindless and distracting. And I'm like, very chaotic. And I absolutely thought this was going to be like mindless and distracting, like, let's fuck on the couch. Like,
Yeah.
that's the direction. And then Alex is like, do you want to watch a movie? Do you want to play some games?
First, he says, do you want to watch a movie? And she says, if it's not on a big screen and I don't have a big tub of popcorn, I don't.
What about that? And he's like, okay, plan B.
I have some games. And he goes, do you have this?
I haven't.
I have Monopoly and I think Scrabble and Cards of Humanity. Okay. Cards of Humanity.
Once again, I'm just like, could we have gotten another take? Like, could we have done one more pass through the scene and
Yep.
see if we could get the right card? And I'm like, or is this a different game that is super popular? It's like a niche Salem board game, Cards
Yeah.
of Humanity.
Not against. They
Yes,
are
of.
Cards of Humanity. Mm.
Then Teresa goes, I can't even do it with a straight face. Teresa goes, I have a better idea, and I dare you not to like it. And that's the end of the scene. We're going to go back to Everett's hotel room where he's talking to Stephanie. And Everett is having a really difficult time formulating a complete sentence, which these are my favorite moments where I am trying to decipher, are you acting or are you finding the
The
line?
line. I do believe it was finding the line, if I may say.
So yeah, he's just like, I can't, I don't know how to tell you. And Stephanie starts getting freaked out, but he's like,
Understandably.
understandably, it's like, spit it out. What's going
Yeah.
on? And he's just saying that this confession is a big risk and he's really scared to tell her. And then finally he's like, I've loved working with you because you're so gifted.
And my question is, what are they working? What do you know?
She does PR.
Oh, okay. All
So
right. For some reason, the vibe they gave off is that they were like scientists. Like,
yes, because you wouldn't look at a marketing and be like, you're so gifted.
no, no.
Yeah, scientists, musicians, maybe even engineers,
Yeah.
gifted, artists, gifted, PR,
Gifted. Also,
gifted. So she
one goes out to PR.
gifted PR artists. Everett is the editor-in-chief of the Salem Spectator, which is the town newspaper.
Oh my God, he got to be Everett. I was about to say he got to be
Everett in chief.
He's editor-in-chief of the town paper. So quick.
He was in journalism before his accident. So that was his thing. And then there was the opening. So he like came to Salem to interview for the editor
All right.
position. He didn't like work his way up the ranks from like the mailroom to editor-in-chief between
Okay.
then and now.
Yeah.
Although that would have been entertaining. So yeah, she's a very gifted PR artist. And then he's like, and you know, we're very compatible as coworkers, and I totally respect the boundaries that you've set for us. And then he goes, but I can't take this friend zone thing anymore. And I'm like, okay, so it sounds like you don't respect the boundaries that she set. It sounds like you fundamentally don't respect the boundaries she set.
Yep. Absolutely. I respect it, but I can't handle it.
So yeah, this was her thing. She's just like, you broke my heart, and it's good to know you didn't do it intentionally, but it did still happen. So I need us to just be friends.
Oh, I get it. I get it. I really thought, I didn't realize that they weren't together. I thought that
Oh,
gonna say I have to break up with you because he took
Lord.
so damn long to say it. I
To
thought,
spit the word out.
yeah, I thought he was gonna say I can't do this anymore.
You're
I don't
so gifted and we're compatible as coworkers.
just as coworkers,
Right.
but no.
But no, he's like, but I actually need us to be able to start fucking.
What I do appreciate about this show is it really keeps you guessing what the situation is until the words leave their mouths.
Truly, yep.
You never know how they're feeling. Like you don't know like what the relationship is
Yes.
until they say, I don't like being friends. I can't handle it.
It's like a Mad Lib, and it's like you have to remain neutral until we do the reveal of how you feel about it.
Yeah, actually under like, the camera is shooting from the waist up and they're actually handing the pages in, as they are on screen and they say, I need out of the friend zone. And
Okay, we're gonna get
yeah,
back to the town square with our guy John, who is still just, he has told Marlena he's coming home, is still just pacing around the town
yes,
square.
yes, he's not coming home. Well, no, I have one word written in all caps here.
Yep,
Eye patch.
absolutely.
Who is this?
This is Steve Johnson. He is John's best friend. They run a private investigation firm
Okay,
together.
I was gonna guess spy. I was gonna say
They
there were
they
spies.
used to be spies. They used to
Yes.
work for the ISA,
Okay.
which is obviously, Madeline, the International Security Alliance.
I don't know if you can tell. I was really trying to think like, is that a real thing? Like that I just don't ISA. Oh boy. And I do love when okay, so these spies, when he shows up, he says the phrase, in our previous lives when we used to meet in the shadows,
Yep, he
which
does.
that kind of stuck with me. I
Yeah,
thought
I
that
think that
was
there's a lot of like rich imagery in the language of these scenes with John and Steve, and we're going to dive into some of it. It is, mwah, I love it. Steve comes up behind John in the town square, and he has to yell at John to get his attention. He's like, John, John. So it turns out Marlena, the very long call that Marlena was making was for Steve to go check on John.
yes.
Steve explains Marlena's worried, and so is he. And then he goes into the incredible exposition that you pointed out earlier, where he goes, in our past lives, when we've met in the shadows, we were often on assignment and not always on the same side.
I was on the edge of my seat. I
Literally, this was great exposition.
I have to know more about these two.
And John adds, he's been told that, but he doesn't remember. And I'm like, oh yeah, because this is all stuff obviously that happened like before I was watching the show. So
Yes,
I
yes.
too am on the edge of my seat of just
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, John like doesn't have his memories from that
yeah,
time.
yeah.
So then John gets pissed that Steve keeps asking, like Steve keeps being like, you really don't remember anything from that time? And John's like getting mad that he's still asking him because those memories have been wiped.
I
And
know, wiped.
wiped. So,
Wiped.
John was like a brainwashed weapon for an evil genius.
Okay, so I do just have to point out that this is what happened also with Harris.
Correct. Actually, yes.
Okay.
There is a fair amount of brainwashing
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
happens and possession and X,
I
Y,
had
and
no
Z.
idea that it was so easy to do, that it could happen to so many.
Yeah, all you got to do is get the right scientist and just bing, bang, boom,
Big bang boom, you're
you're
brainwashed.
brainwashed. John was like trained. He was like a super soldier. So I think there was like yeah, he was like a killing machine,
Oh my God.
is
Oh
the
my God.
thing about him. And so he
Oh,
doesn't have any memories from that time.
okay.
Understandably, when you're brainwashed and then you unbrainwash, you lose the washed.
Yes.
And that's science.
And that's science. And that's science for you. Wow. I had no idea that I'd be learning this. I'm writing that down.
So Steve admits he knows it's probably frustrating not to have memories of the past, but he's actually jealous because he wishes he could forget. And his eyes tear up and he looks so haunted.
Yeah. And this is something that does come back quite a lot this episode.
Do we wish we could remember? Do we wish we could forget?
Right.
And I think that's a powerful dichotomy because I will say memory loss. The second ever episode of my podcast was titled hashtag memory loss.
Yep.
Because it is a powerful recurring theme in Days of Our Lives as well. I mean, it happened with Everett. It's happening here with these older gentlemen, and they're not the only people suffering from hashtag memory loss. In Salem, I mean, it's an epidemic along with the opioid crisis.
Along with the opioid crisis that we later hear about that I didn't know about until then.
Here's where we get into Theresa and Alex's game. They have clearly raided a I don't know, a high school vending machine because their snacks are like Sprite and orange cheese crackers.
Yep, and little water.
Theresa walks us through the logistics of a game of truth or dare in excruciating detail.
A game everyone knows.
Again, this is one of those moments where it's like, did we need to waste airtime on explaining how one would play truth or dare? Apparently. No. Apparently. Theresa includes that the dare should ideally have an element of embarrassment and that the truths will lead to enlightening conversation. And I'm like, God, don't you hate playing games with people like this?
Yes. And she says enlightening conversation. And he says, I love lightning. Lightning. Enlightening. That, I believe, was certainly unscripted.
Absolutely.
He just was like, lightning.
So my favorite thing is when blips happen. You say things like cards of humanity. You say things like lightning instead of enlightening. And I'm just like begging them to go through and get another take, but instead they just move on. And usually they just like, you can tell they're so trained to just like keep going so we can get a usable take. So this is maybe the first time I've ever seen an actor on Days of Our Lives like catch themselves when they misspeak. Like usually they will just fully misspeak and keep going and like no one will ever acknowledge it until I make a podcast episode about it. And then like, but this, he went,
I love lightning.
I love lightning. Lightning? And lightning.
Even the phrase like I love enlightening, I love lightning. Like it just doesn't. Okay, so Olivia's just taking a sip of water.
Sorry. Yeah, they really didn't set him up for success like in the text of the scene.
No.
Yeah.
How many do they have? One person writing or
no? I think they have a room. Like I think they have a group and they've got to be just. Can you imagine? What do you think the age range of the group in the writer's room of Days of Our Lives is?
I would say oldest is probably 80.
Yeah.
Youngest is probably 67. No.
I think they've got to have one like youth consultant maybe. Because they do sometimes, we didn't really get any of it in this episode, but they will definitely have like young people issues that they'll talk about, and they'll like have a lot of like, we're gonna teach like grandma how to talk about pronouns and stuff. Like they do a lot of that on the show. Yeah.
What?
There's actually a lot of like bi representation on the show.
Oh my God. What the hell?
There's gotta be a youth consultant. So that's the thing. I think it's like age, the writers are like between 40 and 82. And then like every season they get a new like 21-year-old intern who works with the writers. Okay, so now that we know the rules of Days of Our Lives, or excuse me, of Truth or Dare. Now that we know the rules of Days of Our Lives, Truth or Dare.
I love lightning.
I love lightning. Teresa's going first and she gets very serious.
Oh my God.
And her question is, who was your first celebrity crush? And I'm just like, Oh my
I
God.
really thought we were going to get something so juicy there.
Enlightening conversation.
Yeah. But based on her reaction to his answer, she is quite enlightened.
Oh God, I hate them. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, he goes, oh, easy. Lindsay Lohan. I was obsessed with Lindsay Lohan. I watched Mean Girls all the time to the point where I thought I was going to marry Lindsay Lohan and start a family with her. And I'm just like, we're really watching this on television.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. And based on her reaction,
yeah, she was taken
she's
back.
shocked. She is shocked. She is gobsmacked,
She
if you will.
responds like it makes her think of him differently. And I
Yeah.
want to be like, how?
Like you asked this question.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very silly. So yeah, I walk away from this scene going, okay, this is just going to be a silly little game we're playing, which is
Yep.
true, which is true.
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna quick go back to the pub. They also do this where I'm like, couldn't we have condensed the previous scene and this scene into one scene? But no, we're gonna
Yes.
go back to the pub for 22 seconds where Kate is still yelling at Detective Harris about how her son is missing from prison. Roman's like, you owe my wife an explanation. And Harris finally pipes up.
Well, I'm like, let the man speak. Like you have not actually given him a single moment
And
to
that's
say
what
a damn word.
That's what Harris says. He says, if you just let me explain, I can give you more than an explanation.
God. Oh my God.
Incredible. And that's the end of the scene.
End scene.
That's all we needed. Just a
Yeah.
touch to remember they're still there.
Mhm.
So meanwhile, Everett and Stephanie are still talking. Everett goes on to tell Stephanie that she's the best thing that ever happened to him. And he came to Salem to find her, and he would do anything to get back to what they had. And she does not look pleased. And I have to imagine that part of her like uneasy expression is because she is so delicately perched on the edge of his bed. Like she is sitting so uncomfortably.
So dainty, but also like not wanting to touch anything in the
Yes. It's so funny. So she explains that like she totally wasn't expecting this. And he's like, I think I've been pretty obvious about my feelings for you. Because also, fun fact, they did make out on New Year's Eve, but I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah, that's normal. That's what happens.
It's legally you have to. She's like, that's hilarious that you'd say that because I also think I've been pretty clear about how I feel. And this is when I'm like, absolutely drag him. I love her.
And then he goes, you have. Well, kind of. Like, it's like you have and you haven't.
Yes.
Okay.
They're like negging each other the whole
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah, but also no,
You haven't.
not at all.
And he's like, I'm getting mixed signals, you know, like we hang out a lot and like you're introducing me to people in your life. And she's like, yeah, it's like my feelings for you are complicated. And then she explains,
Understandable.
understandable. So she explains when he disappeared, she was devastated, but she worked really hard to get over it and move on. And then Everett interrupts her with this whole like, did you stop loving me? And now that you know I didn't leave you on purpose, are those feelings gone? And then he's about to whisper for the rest of the episode.
I call this man the bearded whisperer. It's insane how much he is just like there's no one else around.
No.
The acting choice to be like, if I'm really serious,
I'm gonna whisper. He goes, I was gonna ask you to marry me. And then he brings out the big guns. He goes, some people wait a lifetime to find what we had. I'm begging you not to throw it away. Begging you not to throw it away. This is an ASMR podcast. Hang on. I'm tapping the mic. I'm begging you not to throw it away. He's like, let me pull out my microphone. Oh my God.
This is what healed me from the accident.
ASMR. Oh
Yep.
my God. Okay. Let's move along. We're going to go back to Truth or Dare.
I do have to let you know this is where I did write overwhelmed at 14 minutes.
Were you overwhelmed just by the truth or dare game, or were you overwhelmed
Just
by the whispering?
just by every just like this is keep in mind this is my first time ever watching a soap opera.
It's an
I was like
onslaught of information.
uh, I couldn't believe it.
And
So
I want to hold space for your overwhelm here.
thank you for
Yeah.
holding space.
So now it's Alex's turn to ask Theresa a question. Or because what? So they ask a question and then they say, no, they say truth or dare. You say truth. You get asked a question. You can switch to
I feel
dare.
like they explained this. I feel like they took a lot of time to walk us through the rules of Truth or Dare, and it
No.
seems like that didn't do you a damn bit of good. You were just a few minutes ago saying, why did they waste time with this? Wouldn't something else have been more important? And yet here you are. And yet here you are saying, so wait, how do we play Truth or Dare again?
I'm very
It's your show and you're allowed to be doing these things. I just
Oh,
have to say, listen,
even after all that. So when she was explaining the rules, she was like, you pick truth or dare. But now there's this whole like, if you decide you don't like the question that you're asked, you can switch to dare.
Dare.
Is that
I
a
think
thing?
that was in the explanation.
I reject that. I know you watched this episode but moments ago, so you probably know better, but I reject that. And I
Yeah,
think they're just playing fast and loose with the
yeah,
rules that they
yeah.
so explicitly laid out.
Very well might have. Oh boy.
Okay.
The question he asks her
Yes.
is,
Is what's the worst thing you would do if you could get away with it with no consequences?
and her answer shocked me,
Yeah.
and it shocked me for many reasons.
Yes.
The reasons, well, she said I'd take Tate in juvie rehab. I'd
Yes.
break him out.
Yes.
It shocked me because I did not
Yes.
know about Tate, and I did not know that
What's juvie rehab?
he's a juvenile and he's in rehab, or they're in rehab. Like
Yes.
I don't so I was quite shocked by that.
Yes. This actually would have been more clear from the episode that we were originally going to have
Yes.
you watch.
Yeah.
So Tate is Teresa's teenage son. If you can imagine this woman behaving this way has a 16-year-old son. So the thing is that on New Year's Eve, Tate was at a big party with this other 16-year-old girl, Holly. She pulls out a little baggie of pills and she's like, we're going to have fun tonight. And Tate is like, I don't do that. Like, we're not. That's messed up. And then later, like just after midnight, he's looking for Holly. Holly has OD'd in the loading dock of the restaurant they're at. So she's like laying on the ground convulsing. Turns out she took like Adderall laced with fentanyl or something, whatever they're doing these days. So Holly is in a coma,
Yeah.
and Holly's stepfather is the district attorney of Salem, and he's ruthless. And so he's like, my innocent stepdaughter would never have taken pills.
Oh my
Tate
God.
must have given her the pills. And Tate's like, I did not. She had them. And he's like, I don't believe you. I'm going to throw the book at you. So Tate's been in jail. And they did this whole thing where they were like, we're trying Tate as an adult. So they sent him to adult prison. And so finally they had to be like, you have to send him to a juvenile facility.
Yeah.
And like they got a judge to agree to send him to like a juvenile rehab facility. And Tate's like, but I have never taken drugs. And his lawyer was like, it's the best I could do. So that's why she has such disdain when she says, I'd break Tate out of that awful juvie rehab place.
Yeah. Okay. It's all coming. I'm learning, I'm understanding.
Yes. But I'm also like, she's been through so much. Life is hard, but like, this is how you're gonna recover from this incredibly traumatic experience your family has had by like playing this game of truth or dare with the guy you're hooking up with.
God.
Be better.
Yeah.
respect yourself. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, you actually don't have to go see your aunt for therapy. Honey, you need real
you need
paid therapy.
you
You
need
need to
doc.
pay. You have to pay. She goes, I get therapy. Can I get it for free? No, you should
Oh,
be
you
paying.
shouldn't. You should be paying price, full premium.
Full premium price. You have some things to work through.
Yes. She then is going to pivot because she can't function as an adult and acknowledge the things happening in her life. And she pivots with her next question. She goes, who is the most beautiful, interesting,
Oh my God.
charming, sexy woman you have ever kissed?
And
And
he says, there.
I know, rapscallion. She goes, well, you're going to be sorry because I dare you to kiss that beautiful, charming woman who's staring at you right
Right now.
now. And they make out.
Well, at this point, I didn't know that they had kissed before.
Right.
And
It
so
would make sense for it to this to be how a first kiss is initiated.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's long, it's old news.
Okay. They could have cut this all out and just
Absolutely.
like, how about, do you want to kiss?
I'll kiss you now. Mwah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Done.
Yep.
Done.
Okay, so now we're gonna go back to the town square.
Yes, nighttime town square, which I noticed a business in the background that I didn't notice the first time,
Tell me of it.
which is Sweet Bits Bakery.
That is the famous bakery of the town square.
I love
People love what they've got going on.
yes, 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 absolutely. I when I was in New York recently, I saw something crazy that I think they have at Sweet Bits Bakery, and it's a cookie.
Croissant cookie.
It's a croissant cookie.
That's
It's like
crazy.
a croissant, and then on either end there are two cookies. So
Oh,
on either end there's a cookie.
oh, I would have
So
assumed it was just like a cookie made out of croissant dough, but
no,
it's
no.
actually just a Frankenstein new
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
Interesting.
I do feel like I saw Sweet Bits Bakery and I said, I bet they have cookies.
I bet they do too.
So we're back there.
We're back here, and this, I'm like still wrestling with what time it is because now the square has cleared out. Like there are
Yep.
no window shoppers
They've been standing for so long. They've been
for
there for so
hours.
long.
But
Yep.
so John and Steve are still together, and John's like asking Steve what he wishes he could forget because it's like sometimes we really skip when we come back to these scenes, and sometimes it's like we're immediately picking up from the last line of the last scene.
Yes. Yes.
So John asks Steve what he wishes he could forget, and Steve's like, all the bad stuff, duh. And I'm like, okay, cool. And he's like, my memories of working for Victor Kiriakis back in the day just won't let go. So Victor Kiriakis, there are two powerful families in Salem. One of them is the Damaras and one of them is the Kiriakis family. And so Victor Kiriakis has since passed away, but was like the patriarch and he was like a villain. And
Uh-huh.
so Steve was like a henchman for the Kiriakis people at some point,
Yeah.
and those are the things he wants to forget. And he's like, but I can't let go of those memories, especially when I'm around one Constantin Miliounes.
Yes. Yes. Who knew that Salem had such a large Greek population?
It's true.
And I do also think that Alex also is Greek.
He is Alex Kiriakis. That's his last name. They're all in the
Oh,
yes.
whoa.
It's true.
Okay.
It's true. So Constantine is like an old friend of Victor's who has come to Salem since Victor died and is
Yeah.
like, Steve and John are suspicious of him, and they
Yeah.
are for good reason because he is doing nefarious stuff, but nobody knows about it yet. So then Steve has a very beautiful button on the scene where he says he doesn't know what's worse, not being able to remember or not being able to forget. And I'm like, didn't we already do this button?
Yes, we keep coming back to this because it's important.
Okay, so Kate and Roman have an apartment over the pub. So we just have gone upstairs from the pub.
Okay. Well, that's why Harris was there. I did
Yes.
not understand that their
Oh, it's
apartment
the
was
same
over.
place.
Okay.
He wasn't just there to surprise them.
No, to be like, I have something to tell you. It's because he was already upstairs. I
Yeah.
understand.
Okay.
Yep.
So he leads them into this room and he's like, this will explain everything. And he flips on the lights, and who should be there leaning on a cane,
Yeah.
battered and bruised? But this is Lucas, Kate's adult son, in his classic jail denim. So this is their thing when they do scenes in the jail. Instead of like prison uniforms, everyone's just in head to toe denim. So yeah, Kate runs over and throws his arms around him, and he's like, oh my God, help, look at how injured I am. Please stop
Yep.
jostling me.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And Harris explains that under the cover of darkness, which you love starting out a story like that,
Yes.
under the cover of darkness, he snuck Lucas out of the prison in a laundry basket. And I said, much like in the film Annie.
This exactly. Okay, so they're just watching Annie. This, wow. Who would you, okay, if you had to cast Days of Our Lives as Annie,
Oh
who
my
would,
God, don't do this to me.
okay, but I am.
I think Kate would be Miss Hannigan.
Okay. And who would be, what's his name? Daddy
Daddy
Warbucks?
Warbucks. Oh God. Maybe John. Maybe Patch, frankly. Maybe
Daddy
Steve.
Warbucks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could
Kind
see
of like
Steve.
hardened, but with a heart of gold.
Exactly. Eye patch, but with a heart of gold.
Yeah. Okay. And then who's Sandy? That's what I have to ask.
Um,
Is it Alex?
Theresa in her blonde wig.
Oh, yes.
Except maybe I'll find somebody else to be Sandy because Teresa and Alex have to be Rooster and Lily.
Oh, yeah.
Annie, it's not age appropriate, but like Marlena,
Yes.
you
Marlena.
know, in a red wig.
Yes. Yes. I would watch that.
So maybe Roman can be Sandy.
Oh, yeah. I think
Yeah.
Roman. Yeah.
Or should Roman be FDR?
Oh, Roman as FDR is good. What about John as Sandy?
That's perfect. Annie and Sandy, they're a dynamic duo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much for going on that
Yes,
journey with me.
absolutely. Absolutely. It's important to cast.
But again, I'm just like, okay, so Harris is like he's like a detective. He's doing this in an official capacity.
Yeah, but why are we doing it so much like this? But I guess it's to protect. Okay, yeah, this scene, there is a lot in here that I said, what? Oh, uh-huh.
He snuck him out in a laundry basket. They drove around for a few hours to make sure they weren't being followed. And then Harris brought Lucas here. It's a top secret situation. No one knows where Lucas is, not even the commissioner.
That's a red flag.
I know. But I think what we know is that like Harris got approval to take Harris got approval to take Lucas out of the prison
Yeah,
because he's a witness in this drug case.
yeah.
And so for his safety, they've taken him out. And what they didn't say in this episode, but what I know from other episodes is that they think there's a mole in the Salem PD.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was getting a little confused because it was so extra sneaky, but also quite legal.
Yeah.
But so Lucas kidnapped Roman's daughter.
Yes, so that's the next thing. Lucas apologizes to Roman that he has to harbor the man who kidnapped his daughter, who also is his ex-wife. So Lucas was married to Roman's daughter, Sammy,
Oh,
and I can't remember why he kidnapped her, but he did kidnap her and hold her hostage. And then, like, when he released her, he like turned himself in and was like, I'm sorry, I overreacted. And so now he's in jail.
but I do have to say, Roman's response to this is very much like, you are the son of my wife. You are welcome in my home anytime. Even though you did kidnap my daughter, you are welcome. You are welcome, welcome, welcome in my home anytime. And it's just like,
I can't
oh,
breathe. That is a verbatim, perfect impressive. Oh my God, I can't speak. Lightning impression.
lightning, lightning, and lightning. I love lightning.
Um, I love that he's like, Lucas, 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 and you expect him to be like your family, but
Yeah.
instead he says, you are my wife's son, which is still like definitely arm's length. Like
Yeah.
you exist in relation to me, and so I have to acknowledge you.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, he goes, you're welcome in my home anytime. And then he goes, any time. End of scene. Okay, we're finally going back to Stephanie and Everett.
Yep.
She explains that once she got over the shock of him ghosting her, she tortured herself for weeks, blaming herself for doing whatever it was that made him leave. And although she knows now that him leaving had nothing to do with her, back then the thought that it did broke her. And this is when she starts to get really emotional. And this is when I'm like, she is a good little actor.
Yes, I agree.
She talks about how like her self-confidence was shattered and it took her a long time to recover. And she's like, oh, this was actually really moving. She was like, maybe I'm just not a very resilient person. Heartbreaking. And she was like, and maybe I always blame myself when things go wrong, but like that's just how I deal with things. And I thought it was actually quite like moving.
And then he starts whispering.
Well, he goes, this is so great that you're opening up about all this.
Oh my God, absolutely. F right off.
He goes, I really needed to know how painful it was for you. And he goes, I just want to make it right. And then he goes, will you let me make it up to you? Please. Disgusting. Shivers.
The bearded whisper strikes again.
The bearded whisper strikes again, potential title of ep.
Yes.
Okay, meanwhile, back in the square.
Yep.
John thinks there's something more going on with Steve. And he goes, something that has to do with Constantin. And I'm like, we see he's a former detective.
Yes.
So Steve admits he believes that somehow, and he doesn't know how, but somehow Constantin knows about the pawn.
The pawn. Listen, I hear this, my jaw on the floor. The pawn? How could he know? I would like to, if I may, take this moment. I would like to nominate for the best soap opera actors.
Yes.
I have it narrowed down to 3. What's her name? To Harper is the best like actor.
Wait, who?
Harper. Wait.
Stephanie.
Okay.
Where'd you get Harper? Who's Harper? I just love when I like totally can understand when people are like, I don't know anyone's name. So they'll always be like brunette, like dress girl. And you're like Harper.
She looks like a Harper.
She does look like a Harper when I think about it.
Okay. So yeah, brunette.
Stephanie, AKA Harper,
is
best
like a good
actor. Uh-huh.
These 2, I believe, are like the best soap opera actors, and also Roman.
Yes, Roman and John.
Yep.
Nice.
I feel like there is a lot of intensity and there's a lot of like dedication to the looks and the emotions.
Yeah.
I
would totally agree with this. Yeah, this is the scene where John really earns that nomination.
Oh yeah.
Because even just his
I think it actually might win him the award.
It very well might. Because he's talking about he hasn't heard those words in years. He's really like stretching out the language, mining it, as you might say. So Steve explains that Constantin just asked him what he knows about the pawn. And so I'm like, okay, so that would be the thing that leads you to believe Constantin knows something about the pawn. The fact that he said, Steve, tell me about the pawn.
Yep. Number 1 clue.
Remember when you said, I don't know how, but somehow, like, yeah.
That's how.
So yeah, he's like, Constantin asked me about it, but he asked me in this way, like he knew all about it. And I'm like, okay, cool. And he's like, Constantin was taunting me. And I'm like, oof, here we go. Yep. And they agree that they need to figure out what all Constantin knows. And John starts scratching his 5 o'clock shadow. And this prompts Steve to go, I see that this really upsets you. And I'm like, the scratching? So Steve goes, you should go home, go to Marlena, get some rest. And John sneers like, yeah, right, I'll sleep. Okay, fine, I will go home. And he leaves. But then the underscoring really ramps. Oh no, Steve leaves.
Yeah, Steve leaves. And then we get this incredible moment.
Scene lit. at
scene.
the end of the scene where John is just, I wrote this down as a rich moment alone of processing what he has just heard. Cause yeah, he like, I don't know, he's just like shaking his head. And then, yeah, like you said, he looks up to his God
Yeah.
and his jaw is hanging open. And then he's like
Yeah,
shaking his head and he's just, yeah, he is going through it
he is.
alone
Oh,
in the square.
Alone in the Square, the
Title of
dead
it.
of night, the dead of
Dead
8:30.
of night. At this point, it's either 8:30 or 4 a.m.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to Alex and Theresa. They are still making out like
This,
horny
this,
Mormon teens.
yep. This scene, I will say, brought me to my knees.
Good.
I was clutching my chest. I couldn't believe what was happening.
This scene takes us to a place none of us could have expected to go. Alex tears himself away from their kiss, but he's like, okay, now it's my turn. And I want to ask you a tough question. And he pointedly asks, Theresa Donovan, what's the biggest lie you've ever told? And she starts to panic because this actually is a very bad question he could have asked her. And I'll tell you why, Madeleine Rowe.
What is the biggest lie she's ever told?
So I told you about Victor Kiriakis, who has passed.
Yeah.
Victor Kiriakis was Alex's uncle.
Okay.
Victor Kiriakis left a will,
Uh-huh.
and through a confusing turn of events, Theresa had access to that will. Theresa and one Constantin Miliunis had
Okay.
access to that will before anyone else did.
Okay.
They go through the will, and in the will, they see that Victor reveals he had a secret child that no one ever knew about, a member of his family who everyone thought was like a distant family member, but was actually his biological son because he had an affair with this child's mother. It was not Alex, it was this
Oh,
other guy, Xander, but it just said Alexander in the letter. And we have an Alex and we have a Xander. And Theresa was literally like, we should make everyone think this is Alex because Alex and I have a vibe and I think we could start hooking up. And if Alex inherits all of Victor's money, I'll be rich.
oh my God. But she knew.
But she knows it's not actually him. So they changed the will to make it seem like it's about Alex. And so this has like upended Alex's entire life. And he's like having an identity crisis about like, who's my daddy? I don't understand.
Oh
And
my
like, she
God.
knows that it's a lie.
Oh my
So
God.
that's arguably the biggest lie she's ever told.
Okay, and it is in this scene that she recovers. She chooses Dare instead.
She does. She just like has a long moment where she's like, gulp, and she's like, dare.
Yeah.
And his dare,
Yep. Yeah.
he dares her to sing her favorite childhood song at the top of her damn lungs
Yeah.
right
And
now.
at this point, I'm thinking it's gonna be something, like, from the Disney Channel or like, a 90s pop hit,
Yep.
because we were just talking about Lindsay Lohan. We were
Yep.
just talking about like pop culture exists in this world. I think she's going to be singing something like that.
Mm-hmm.
No.
She sings, she pumps herself up. She does a whole like, okay, whew, I've got this, as
Takes
if
her time doing it.
takes her sweet time doing it.
Yeah.
And then she screams, row, row,
Row,
row
row
your
your boat.
boat.
Insane.
And then Alex is like, oh my God, I love this. It's a duet now.
And they're both screaming, row, row, row your boat. Yeah.
And then there's like banging on the wall, and Alex is like, oh my God, it's my grumpy old neighbor, Mrs. Campbell. And I'm like, first of all, justice for Mrs.
Yeah.
Campbell.
Oh my
Like,
God. It's what, 8:30 or 2 a.m.? But also the way in which they're singing is like he's got his arm around her.
it's like a shanty.
Yes, it's like they're both drunk off their mind, but they've been drinking ginger ale and water and little crackers.
Yes.
It
is maddening. I agree, because I wrote down what a lame favorite childhood song. Like,
Yeah.
I get it that you can't probably afford like clearance on something, but like we went to row, row, row your boat. So yeah, Theresa like hollers an apology to Mrs. Campbell, and they're like, oh my God. And Alex goes, maybe that's our cue that we should call it a night and just go to bed. And I'm like, that turned you on? That turned you on? You're sick. You're
Yes.
sick, and you two deserve each other.
We do deserve each other.
Okay, so here we go back to Everett's room at the Salem Inn, where Stephanie is like, okay, we're taking the opportunity, opening up about the time after your accident. And she asks, I think, a very astute question. Why didn't more people in your life go looking for you
Yep.
when you went
Yeah.
missing?
Yeah.
Like, how is it that you just disappeared? And he's like, again, very slowly explaining he wasn't on any assignments at the time. So I guess when he didn't respond to messages from his boss, they just assumed he had moved on. And I'm like, oh, yeah, the rogue world of freelance journalism where you're just in
Yeah.
one day, out another.
Something's fishy here.
Fishy, fishy. And then he's like, when my mom died when I was young, and my
And
dad's a drunk, as you know.
well, yeah, he says, my mom died when I was young, and my dad is a drunk, And she says, I know.
You're right. I know. And then she's like, I shouldn't have asked. And I'm like, stop. You are
No.
being, this is also an example of brainwashing in
Yeah.
Salem.
Oh yeah.
Ugh,
Oh yeah. It's happening right before our very eyes.
eyes.
And he says something kind of crazy then,
Yes.
because family can also be
Cousins.
cousins, aunts, and uncles. Like he's like, oh yeah, and also maybe it could have been other kind of family, like cousin, aunts, uncles, but they live on the East Coast, so
And this is my thing where I'm like, it would be a red flag if someone went missing and no one in their life noticed.
yes.
Everett starts explaining about how his initial diagnosis was retrograde amnesia, and then he gives the dictionary definition of retrograde amnesia, where you can't
Yep.
remember things from your past. And then he shares that when his memories did start coming back, the first clear memory he had was Stephanie,
Yeah.
and the whole
Or
world got
Harper.
brighter was Harper. And he's like, and you gave me purpose, and my new goal was to get back to you and tell you you're everything to me. And he's whispering, and this is manipulation. But
101.
Stephanie falls for it and bursts into tears and pulls him in for a hug, and he opens his eyes as they, which is, of
Yes.
course, the most evil thing a person can do.
Yeah.
Oh my
We
God.
know something is afoot.
Yeah.
This is why this show is so brilliant in that they didn't need to say anything, but by a simple eye opening,
Eye opening.
we know.
Yes, absolutely. We do know. Okay, so now we go back to Marlena and John's, and she's in a fabulous floral robe waiting for
Yeah.
John, who
Yeah.
finally comes home. And of course, he's like, oh, what are you doing up? And she's
Oh,
like, obviously waiting for you. My husband was like wandering the town square alone in at either 8 or 4. Like,
yep.
what else would I be doing? I couldn't sleep. And he weirdly is like, I wasn't alone. You know that.
That.
And we're doing the weird fake out where like this is a cliffhanger where it seems like he's really mad at her. So we
Oh,
go back to Kate and everyone with Lucas, and she's going
yeah.
on about how happy she is that he's safe. And this is the moment where I just really love the fact that she's in like a fur cuffed jacket and all of
Oh,
her
and
clothes.
it falls off the on the
Yes.
when she sits down on the bed. Yeah, that was
Yes.
exquisite. That was exquisite coat acting.
Yes. Then Lucas like very weirdly accuses Harris of kidnapping him. And I'm like, count your blessings. Like you got out, like you're at your
You're
family's,
out
you're
of
not
yeah,
in
out of
prison.
prison. Yeah. Well, this is also the first time that it is mentioned that Harris is a detective. That
Yes,
was not.
that's true. That's true. So
And
at the,
so in my notes here, I have detective question mark question mark. I
yeah,
did not know what was happening up
yeah.
until this moment.
Yeah. Before this, you were like, this is not above board. And it turns out this is actually a sting.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Oh,
this is when Harris explains that he called in every favor he had with the attorney general, who finally agreed to put Lucas in a safe house while they build their case against Clyde Weston, who is like the person running the drug trade in
yeah.
Salem.
Yeah.
And I'm also like, this is not a safe house. This is just his mom's house.
House. Yeah. It's not safe.
So,
Oh,
so Harris
boy.
explains that as soon as the trial is over, Lucas will have to go back to Statesville, which is the prison,
Yep. And they all seem to go, okay, well, I guess we'll just be happy now. Really
Just
quick.
really quick. And then Lucas goes, yeah, we'll just have to be happy. And I'm like, why the saltiness?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
You did something wrong a little
You
bit.
kidnapped, and so you went to jail, and now you're, I don't understand. Quickly, for we actually are going to go back to it pretty soon. But first we have to put a button on the Alex and Theresa night. This is towards the end of the episode, so we're just wrapping up everyone's storylines.
Yeah.
Alex and Theresa, they're like holding each other by the waist, but their
Yep.
bodies are so far away from each other. It's a very confusing moment.
That's amore. If you don't know it,
That's amore.
that's amore.
So Alex thanks her for the game. And this is where I'm like, get better expectations of playing games. Like, this was not a good night.
They should have played Cards of Humanity, to
They
be honest.
should have. I would have been interested to see how it differs from Cards Against Humanity. And then Theresa agrees that it was fun. And then she's like, well, I'll see you in the morning. And he's like, huh?
Smacked. He is like, I really thought that that was our foreplay.
Yeah, this is what I had in mind for foreplay. And she's like, it's really important that I get a good night's sleep. And so he's taken aback, but he agrees. And then she like offers her cheek for a kiss. And they go into their separate rooms. And he like does that thing where he watches her go. And then he's like, mm. And I'm like, oh God, you two should be put away.
Boy, oh boy, this should not be televised.
And so he goes into his room, and then in a brilliant moment of comedy, Theresa comes back out and goes to Alex's room, and she goes, who am I kidding?
Oh my God. Oh my God. I will say an air of confusion surrounded me with a lot of this episode, but this in particular, because I thought that was the door out. I thought that was the door out of the house. And then she goes, who am I kidding? And leaves her own house, I thought it was.
No.
Um,
No,
no.
it is the house they share together. And so like the direction where they were yelling at Mrs. Campbell is the front door. And so
No.
Alex went into his bedroom and she went into her bedroom. And then she
Wow.
said, who am I kidding? And went into Alex's bedroom.
Oh my God.
And
Crazy.
those are the moments where I'm like, this show is played for laughs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Classic.
These are the days of our lives, and they are filled with laughter.
This is where, so now we're back. Kate and Roman are tucking Lucas into bed. Super,
Yes, their baby boy.
super normal for a 50-year-old man to get tucked in by his mom and stepdad. Lucas like finally admits, I think Harris is gone. So maybe Lucas is like feeling a little more settled, and he admits he feels really good to be home, even if it's just temporary. And he apologizes again to Roman for the awkwardness. And this is where Roman repeats,
you are my wife's son, and you tried to end the drug epidemic in Salem. And I'm going, excuse me?
yes. Yes, he insists he thinks Lucas helping to end this drug epidemic is honorable and brave. So yeah, this is where we reveal. This is the big reveal, is that the case that Lucas is a witness in is the opioid epidemic that is ravaging the youth of Salem.
And it seems like this is why Roman is ready to forgive.
It is true, because he's turning a new leaf. There's a moment of mutual respect, and Kate kisses Lucas's forehead, and they leave, and she's like, thank you, Roman. And I'm like, get out of here. Go to bed. It's 6 a.m. the next day.
I know. Oi, oi, oi.
We return to the square. And this is the moment where officially the time-space continuum has unraveled for me.
I have no clue what time.
Because now we're in the town square. Steve runs into Harris.
But Steve left.
That's correct. So Steve left John to have his moment of processing. So this means Steve left and then wandered back into the square in the time it took for John to get home. And he's just still wandering around. Steve and Harris both are like, what are you doing out? Oh, I'm just restless. And Steve goes, well, we both have jobs that weigh heavily on the mind. And Harris goes, ain't that the truth? God. Incredible. And Steve makes it very weird by asking,
you wanna unburden? Yeah. So I do have questions about that.
This is the surprise cruising scene in Salem.
No, it did feel like a bit of a hit,
You want
like,
to unburden? And Harris is like, I'm good.
no,
Maybe
thank
another
you. Thank
time.
you. It's good to see you, buddy.
I'll catch you later, Steve. And yeah, and Harris
Yeah,
leaves and
Steve's just hanging out in the town square, perpetually asking people if they want to unburden.
yes. Steve watches him go in a way that made me really think he's not leaving that town square anytime soon. So now we find out that we had one of those classic misdirections with John and Marlena. He's not upset that she sent Steve
Oh
to look
no,
for
he's
him
happy
at
and in
all.
love.
It's true. He's like, I'm actually glad you sent him. We had a good talk. And Marlena's, I had to write down this line that she says. She says, I'm so happy you have someone with whom you can share your concerns, someone with whom you've been in the trenches. And I'm just
Oh,
like, what elegant grammar. So yeah, he just feels like John feels like he's a very lucky man because Marlena always knows what he needs. And they say,
mhm.
I love you. And they have a lovely little tender kiss. And then John really undercuts it by going, okay, let's hit the sack.
Oh boy. Done with that one.
Okay, finally, last scene of the episode.
Last scene.
And
Yep.
it's chock full.
Mhm.
Stephanie and Everett execute perfect choreography where they come out of their hug, but they're cradling each other's faces and staring
Yep.
into each other's eyes. And then, of course, they kiss passionately.
Yeah.
But Stephanie stops and the bearded whisperer strikes again. And
Yep.
he starts whispering about how he's like, I missed us. And she admits that she has too. But I also love that she does not whisper. Like
No,
he's
never.
the only one whispering. And she like he's he goes, stay. And she's like, I can't. I'm not
Yeah.
ready. And she
Uh-huh.
runs her hands along his really ill-fitted blue dress shirt. Like they both just look very uncomfortable.
Yep, yep. Well, especially on a bed. I kept going like, get into some comfy clothes. I mean,
I
I felt
know.
like oftentimes with pretty much everyone in the scene is like, for God's sake, like you're at home, you're on a bed,
Uh-huh.
you have to get into like some sweatpants. You
They are
have to
in business casual.
take off your bangles for
Yes.
one. Like
Yes.
why are we never anyway? So
She's rubbing his weird chest.
yeah,
I mean, I guess his chest isn't weird, but the shirt's just weird.
yeah.
Um, and then Everett whispers that he understands that it's fast, but
Mhm.
he just wants to hold her in his arms as he sleeps. Like he's just like, that would be nice. And Stephanie's like, that would be nice. And I'm like, no, it wouldn't.
Yeah.
They do like a movement improv. Like,
Where they're seemingly taking off their clothes, but also not doing
yes.
anything.
So they get up and they
Yeah.
stand on opposite sides of the room and
Yeah.
he's like clearing stuff off the bed and turning
Yeah.
off the lights and stuff. And she's not doing anything, but is just kind of like mirroring.
Mirror.
And they're like making eye contact and smiling. And they take off their shoes across the bed from each other. And then Everett
Oh God.
leaps
Yep.
across the bed all the way to her side of the bed. Like you think they've been mirroring each other. You think they're gonna meet in the middle.
No, no, no. He jumps all the way over to her. And
He vaults to her side of the bed.
there are way easier ways to get into the spooning position. I'll tell you
Leave,
that.
he leaves her absolutely no room. She's so far on the edge of the bed when she goes to sit down, she bumps the lamp on the nightstand.
And that lamp does not stop. That lamp does not stop. And then the pillow's hitting the lamp, and they're like,
Yes.
and the lamp is just the lampshade is just going, whoa, whoa.
And so she's like, he's literally like got her pinned against the side of the bed and she's trying to scoot down, but she's also wearing a formal dress. And so she's like trying to scoot and adjust her dress, and her knees are hanging off the bed, and he's spooning her up against the edge of the
Taking up
bed.
more than half of the bed. It is ridiculous. Yeah, you want to talk about not respecting boundaries? Like, take
This
a look in a mirror, bro. Like,
look
my
at the
God.
bed. And then he reaches over her to turn off said teetering lamp. He smothers her momentarily to turn off the lamp. And then like the lights are off and the camera pushes in on them as they snuggle and she's like kind of smiling and he's just like staring off
Eyes
open
open.
eyes like a
Eyes
killer.
open. Here's
And
this
that's the
again.
end of the episode.
Oh my God.
Madeleine, what do
Is
you
every
feel?
episode like this?
Yes, I would say this was actually like kind of tame.
No.
Well, no, I'll say because obviously it's like I watch a bunch of episodes and I don't recap every single one I watch. Like there has to be something juicy in it for me to be like, this is the recap one. And the row, row, row your boat for me was what put it over the edge.
Yeah, quite a journey. And now I'm so happy to know all of these people, but it's like this this is 35 minutes or
Yes.
like 40 minutes maybe.
Yes.
Like it
And I'll say this is a fraction of the characters that are actually like involved in this show. This is probably a tenth of the characters that are like main cast of Days of
a
Our Lives.
10?
Yes, there's dozens of them. There's so many people. What do we think for title of ep? I feel like it has to be something about the Truth or Dare game, or it has to be the Bearded Whisperer Strikes Again.
Oh boy.
Where are you, Bearded Whisperer? It also
Where are you?
popped to my head.
I love that. I
Where
love
are
that.
you, Bearded Whisperer?
Harper and the Bearded Whisperer.
That might be it. Oh my God, Madeleine, thank you so, so much for going on this journey with me.
It was my deepest and darlingest pleasure to join you here in Salem.
In Salem. We hope we'll have you back.
I hope to be back.
We'll definitely have you back. My resolutions for 2025 are that I'm going to get caught up on Days of Our Lives and more consistently release podcast episodes. Because right now I'm doing like one every 2 months.
That I think, but that's been good for 2024. But
Yeah, 2025, we're gonna show up
yes, we are
for
the
the
Days
citizens
of
of
Our Lives
Salem.
community. For Salem. For Salem. We're showing up for
Speaking of,
Salem.
I do want to take a quick moment because I have an Instagram. I'm going to plug the Instagram. Follow me on at So Are the Days podcast. That's what it's called, at So Are the Days podcast. In the last couple of weeks, I received DMs from two incredibly lovely people that I'm going to quickly shout out, Jeanette and Jody. They DM'd me and they were just like, we really like the podcast. They DM'd me independently, obviously. I don't think they know each other, but I just want to say shout out to them. I love them and they were just so kind and lovely.
Out.
If you like the podcast, DM me and tell me, and it'll encourage me to keep releasing episodes.
At least once a month.
At least one a month in 2025.
That's-
We're looking at no less than 12 new episodes in 2025.
No less than 12. Okay.
No less than 12, no more than 24, let's be honest.
No.
No.
That's too much.
So follow me on Instagram, rate, review, subscribe, smash that subscribe button.
Smash it like Marlena smashes her
phone. Madeleine, you are one of the most talented individuals, clowns, performers in the, I would say, Northern Hemisphere.
It's so
do you have anything you'd like to plug? I know you're famously just kind of not
sure. Yeah, at the moment there ain't nothing to plug, but soon there may be.
Okay, Madeleine is coming off of an incredible world tour of their solo show Night Night that was at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival and that I recently got to catch for the second time in New York City. Ever heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard.
So if you see Night Night spelled Knight, Knight,
you nailed that.
Keep your eyes peeled for that. Madeleine, yeah, can the people follow you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, maybe Madeleine, but Madeleine has 3 E's because my mom named me French.
Nice.
Madeleine.
And I'll tag you when I post this.
Yippee. Yeah, and I've probably got some things coming up in Minneapolis if you're around, we'll see. We 2025 year of creation, year of fun.
Yay. Yeah. Amazing. Madeleine, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Happily.
And we end every episode by saying, stay classy, Salem.
Stay classy, Salem. Can we say it together?
We can try. 3, 2, 1.
Stay
classy, Salem.
Oh, sorry. I messed
it's
that
the
up.
Zoom lag.